Hey YouTube, it's 118 sethshadow here again, with my third card review, which is actually going to be a card comparison this time. So today I'll be comparing and reviewing Starlight Road, as well as The Huge Revolution is Over. Let's start with Starlight Road, the fairly older card. Activate only when an effect is activated that would destroy 2 or more cards you control. Negate the effect, destroy that card. Then you can special summon Stardust from your extra deck. So just some basic overviews. This card is a normal trap card, activatable when your opponent, or even when you, play an effect that'll destroy 2 or more cards you control. Then you can special summon Stardust from your extra deck. This effect is optional, after negating and destroying the card that you were intending to negate. If you cannot negate and or destroy the card that you were trying to, Stardust cannot be summoned because you didn't meet one of the clauses before, or you didn't meet both of them. In other cases, like I said before, summoning Stardust is optional, so you don't even need Stardust in your extra to use this, and you don't actually have to summon Stardust if you don't want to. And it must be chained directly to whatever card you're trying to negate. If they activate Judgment Dragon's ability, you can't wait for them to play something else, and you cannot play anything else in between. You gotta play Starlight right away. Otherwise, you miss the chance and timing. And then the Huge Revolution is over. When a spell, trap, or effect monster effect is activated that destroys 2 or more cards on the field, negate the activation and banish it. This one is a counter trap card, and this one's actually fairly newer from Order of Chaos. Unlike Starlight Road, this card cannot actually summon any beat sticks like Stardust. Well, actually let's get back into it since there's not much else I can say about it right now, when I'm trying to compare it right now. So, this card negates a card, destroys it, and then gives you this guy, Stardust Dragon. 2500 attack point monster with the ability to negate any card that destroys, and then usually it can come back from the graveyard after doing it. Not the case here. Starlight Road does not synchro summon Stardust, and by rule, a monster not properly synchro summoned cannot be resummoned by any other means until it's properly synchro summoned. That's the ruling for any synchro monster. So, if you summon Stardust via Starlight Road, even if you use its own ability to negate destruction, you cannot resummon it with its own ability, because that's counted as a special summon. And you cannot special summon a synchro if it hasn't been properly synchro summoned first. But the bright side is, you at least have a 2500 attack point monster on the field, which is going to be a little bit tough to take on after having a negating effect destroyed. And then this card also can negate a negating effect itself. But Starlight Road in particular can be blocked by simpler cards like Royal Decree because of it being a normal trap card. Trap Stun can also be chained to it to negate it. And then this can also be used. Since Starlight Road has the potential to summon a monster, Solemn Warning can be used against it, because of the idea that the clause, this card can special summon a Stardust. Solemn Warning can negate effects that can special summon. Therefore, Solemn Warning can be chained to Starlight Road and negate the entire effect. Let's move on to the other one now. The Huge Revolution is Over. This card has one big ability of versatility over Starlight, in that it has to be 2 or more cards on the field. Starlight Road is a little different, and a little less easier. It has to be 2 or more cards you control. In other words, 2 or more of your own cards. This one can be any cards on the field, which already makes it a bit more versatile. So, why does that even matter, you might ask? Does anybody recognize this card? I hope so, because it was a big synchro monster back in the day, and it still kind of is too. Scrap Dragon. This card destroys 2 cards, 1 on your field and 1 on the opponent's field. So, if your opponent tries to Scrap Dragon this random card and then tries to pop one of your cards as well, you can use the Huge Revolution is over, because it's destroying 2 or more cards on the field, in this case 2 cards. And the other nice thing is that Scrap Dragon is negated and banished. So, you can't use Scrap Dragon's other effect, and the chance of bringing it back is not as high. And the best part is, the Huge Revolution does not destroy. So there are lots of cards which can stop destruction effects, which you will not be able to use against this card. The Huge Revolution also cannot be blocked by cards like Trap Stun and so forth because of its being a counter trap status. Royal Decree also cannot stop it unless it's already face up when you activate this card. If Royal Decree is face down and you activate this card, you cannot Chain Decree, because this is a counter trap card. So that's the up it has over Starlight Road. The overall thing that Starlight has over this is the fact that it gets you a 2500 Stardust Dragon on the field with the ability to negate 1 more time. So, when it comes down to it and you're making the decision to figure out which one, think to yourself, do you want Stardust Dragon on the field for extra negation, and do you not worry about Solemn Warning? Or do you prefer having your card being less prone to negation, and do you even need Stardust Dragon? That's what you need to think about when choosing between these 2 cards. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Have fun.